Yo, it's Zero, and today I have a very special video that I've definitely been wanting to do for a long time. It's a collab video with someone who's been subscribed to my channel for a while, and I've actually watched some of his videos, and I think that his channel actually deserves a lot more exposure than it already has. His channel will be linked in the description, and it'll be in the pinned comments below, as part 2 of this What If will be on his channel whenever he does decide to make it. Funny enough, his name is actually Zero, but with an X instead of a Z like mine. But the what if that we're doing today, well, I think it's pretty obvious based on the thumbnail. What if Naruto was a Green Lantern? Make sure that you subscribe to both of our channels and go to his most recent video and comment down the number 0. With all that out of the way, let's get started.
Yo, let's get it. I'm a trapping fanatic, that shit automatic, so I cannot turn it on or off. Bitches all on my dick, then she hop on my dick. I'm like, why you keep hopping on and off? Yo, bitch all on my dick, she be doing the most. I tell her, little bitch, she so extra. And my gun up on me, but not run up on me. Niggas, they wanna fight, they some wrestlers. And you know 30K got the mop. Sacked up, yeah, I got them knots. Act up, get your body in a box. Told the demon, you know how I rock.
The story begins with a young Naruto, about 7 years old, as he was still the same as he was in canon, determined to become the Hokage no matter what. Nothing was going to stop him. But here, Naruto took his dream a little more serious, as he actually tried to train on his own and become stronger. But even that didn't help him as much as he thought it would. Naruto, one night, decided to go out after some light training as he would look up at the skies. I'll make it a promise to myself to become stronger no matter what it takes. And as Hokage, I'll protect everyone in the village. Naruto watches all of the stars as they're beautiful, and one of them catches his eye as it flies by. Whoa, a shooting star. I've never seen one before. However, this was no shooting star, as it crashed into the ground far away from the leaf, and Naruto chases it down and sees an unknown creature. Yeah, an alien that was laying on the ground. Naruto runs to his aid, and he would take him to a cave, as he goes to the leaf and then brings back him food using the money that he has to use for rent, but he wastes it here. The alien, well, this wouldn't be enough to save him. My time is up, he would say. It's time to pass the power on to a new lantern. That spark in your eyes, it reminds me of me when I was younger. You'll be just fine. Take the ring and the battery core. Now repeat this phrase. Naruto gets the ring and the core, looking at the creature. For some reason, he didn't feel fear, as he would listen to the words said to him, as it would be his turn to now repeat them. In the brightest day, and in the darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worships evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. After Naruto says this, he's completely covered in a green, black, and white outfit, as he doesn't get a mask like Hal Jordan, but he does get a headband to keep his hair in place. Naruto feels the power rushing through his body, as now he can fly. The alien would then explain to Naruto as he floats, in his final breath, how it works, before passing away. Naruto holds up his ring, and creates a shovel using his mind, and he digs a gravestone for the man, as he would then fly back to the leaf in mere minutes, and he decides to keep this power a secret for now. Who knows what anyone will think, as they already do hate him. So now, he just trains and practices using the ring until he's about 12 years old. After failing the exams, he does still steal the scroll of sealing from Mizuki sensei. As Naruto runs through the forest, he then stops once he sees Mizuki. I know you're not gonna let me pass the exams, and I don't know why you want the scroll, but you can't have it. Oh yeah, Naruto? And you're gonna stop me? Yeah, right, kid. You're nothing but an idiot. A loser. No. You're a monster, Naruto. You're the Nine Tails. Naruto? Well, he had finally gotten stronger thanks to his training, and he pulled out his ring, as he then pointed at Mizuki. I'll defeat you, so don't worry. And I don't care about being the Nine Tails. First, Naruto runs in using taijutsu, as he's somehow able to match Mizuki. This is because of his construct training with very tough enemies that he imagined himself. Mizuki was caught off guard, and Naruto landed multiple blows to his rib and, well, his rib, neck, and his chest. Mizuki pushes Naruto back, who then threw a flurry of kunai at him. Naruto, well, he quickly hid behind a tree. This is when Iruka arrives trying to protect Naruto by fighting Mizuki, but he would lose here. A large kunai then flies towards Iruka and is about to kill him, but Naruto sees it, blocking it, sending it to the side. Thanks, Iruka, but I got it from here. Naruto holds out his ring, and he does the Green Lantern, well, the anthem basically. And Iruka is amazed by the appearance and wonders where did Naruto get this power from. Mizuki, well, he's not impressed at all and throws more kunai at Naruto, who just creates a large dome to block the attacks. What? What is that? Naruto lets go of the dome or lets it dissipate and continues walking forward. The blonde then flash steps forward and he slams a gauntlet into Mizuki's chest, which sends him into a tree, knocking him unconscious. Iruka gets back up and he tells Naruto that he can become a Genin, handing him a headband. The next day at school, he was assigned to Team 7, along with Sakura and Sasuke. They wait in the classroom for their sensei, but he's super late as usual, which causes Naruto to begin playing with his ring, as he creates small constructs in front of him to keep him entertained until Kakashi would arrive, as the Jonin sensei takes him to the roof, and this is where we get the usual questions. But here, Naruto's answer is different. Well, at least his goals are in this timeline. This time, saying he no longer desires to just protect, well, just the Leafs people, but all innocent people in this world. This was an insane goal, but Kakashi did believe in Naruto to a certain extent. He would then tell them where to meet the next day, and this is where I'll leave the video off for 0. So make sure you subscribe to his channel after this, and you can take it away from here.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Zero. You guys might already know that. If you've ever seen my channel, but yeah, I'm the lesser Zero. I don't make a lot of Naruto what ifs, so this is gonna be a first for me. But let me just introduce myself a little bit. Like I said, I'm Zero, but with an X instead of a Z. And that cool O that he has with the cross in it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, so I make a lot of My Hero what ifs. The recent series I'm doing on my channel is What If and Deku was Itachi. So yeah. But hopefully you guys enjoy my part. Hopefully you guys enjoy this vid. And like I said, thanks dude for just inviting me to be on your channel. I really appreciate this, man. 'Cause you didn't have to do this, but I appreciate it, bro. So hopefully you guys viewers like me. Yeah. Hopefully you guys like this, like my part of this video. Like I said, I wasted enough of your time, so let's just get into it. So we start this off with Naruto getting up as he gets out of his bed, as he does the normal routine, take his shower, brush his teeth, fix his hair, as he starts to get breakfast ready, as we see that he no longer has his original orange and black jumpsuit that mainly orange and with black highlights that he has in the original counterpart. After becoming a Green Lantern, he thought it would be more fitting that he decided to take on the colorway not only when he's in his transformation suit, but in his personal life. So now he has a black shirt similar to Sasuke's, except without the Uchiha crest on it, as well as he put Uzumaki logo on it. He doesn't know why, but something about this seems like it just fits on his clothes, with it having green highlights around the shirt. But yeah, and he's wearing normal black shinobi pants as well as black shinobi sandals. So he's changing his outfit, not really standing out, and he decided since he's gonna be a ninja that he has to be more stealthy because bright orange isn't that stealthy and won't be too beneficial on a battlefield when you're trying to hide in the shadows since they are ninjas. So we see Naruto as he goes to the training ground, but like Kakashi said, he didn't eat breakfast, even though he thought this was kind of suspicious, since wouldn't Kakashi Sensei want him to be in tip-top form for the battle, since, you know, he's Jonin after all, and they're only getting, even though he has his power, even has his Green Lantern ring, but, you know, he still wants to be in physical shape, because the strain that is put on his body right now is kind of intense. It's not something like he has a time limit on it, but it's just a lot different, and he has to get used to having this power source. But yeah, so he flies his way to training ground 7, and he arrives there pretty late. Well, he's not late technically. He didn't get there on the time that Kakashi said, but he got there a few minutes before Kakashi, since he noticed that in their past, when they first met, that he was late, so he guessed that he might be late again. And if he wasn't, he could just make up an excuse just like Kakashi, you know. The student has to take after the master after all, says Naruto with a chuckle, as he looks around as he lands on the field, as a field a little bit away, so that Sasuke and Sakura don't see his Green Lantern suit. So he goes back and reverts back to his normal base form, as he then makes his way out of a clearing into the training ground site, with Sakura yelling at him saying, why are you so late? It's been 2 hours already. Why haven't you been here? Kakashi Sensei told us that we had to be here at 7, and you showed up at 9 o'clock. What is this? As we see Naruto say, sorry Sakura-chan, but you know, it just didn't add up that Kakashi was late yesterday, so I just guessed that he might be late again, as he said this with a slight chuckle. As Sakura said, shut up, I don't want to hear it, as she turns around and goes back to bothering Sasuke. As Sasuke gives him a pain expression like, dude, help me, please, help me, I've been driven crazy for the past 2 hours. As Naruto gives him a slight chuckle as he just waves him off. It goes by 5 minutes as we see Kakashi walking to the clearing, giving his excuse on how a black cat crossed his path and he had to go around the wrong way so he wouldn't be cursed. You know, because it's good luck, you know, and you can't have bad luck. I mean, it's bad luck, and you can't have bad luck when you're about to fight someone. That just doesn't make any sense. What if I would have slipped and fell and died? You see? It just gotta add up, you know what I'm saying? My cute little Genins, says Kakashi with an eye smile, as Sakura saying, Kakashi Sensei, you can't keep on showing up late and telling us to arrive 2 hours before you. Like, this is not good, says Sakura with a pout, as Kakashi says, oh, don't be like that. You know, I'll do better next time. I won't show up as late. Max 30 minutes late. And even then, that's pushing it. As Sakura said, that's not much better, but, you know, improvement. As we see Kakashi then pull out his bells and say, so, Genins, well, my team of Genins, what we're going to be doing is that, you see these 2 bells? It's a activity that my sensei and his sensei did with their new Genins. Well, technically you aren't Genins yet, but let me get to that. Well, as Sakura says, what do you mean we're not Genins yet? We passed the Genin exams. This doesn't really make sense. Isn't it just our first training exercise? As he says, well, I didn't really fully explain to all of that, and if you would just stop cutting me out, I can explain it. As she says, oh, sorry. Continue. As she says, thank you. So, like I was saying, these 2 bells, and the first 2 people who collect the bells by any means possible, and I mean any means, if you want to set up a trap, but if you want to even sabotage your own teammates just trying to grab a bell, it doesn't matter, because the only thing that matters is getting these 2 bells, and the one person who doesn't get a bell, you know, is going back to the academy. There's nothing I can do about that, says Kakashi with a shrug. As Sakura says, wait, that's not fair, Kakashi-sensei. We all earned a right to be Genins, and that just doesn't make any sense. I never seen a 3 man squad, just two Genins and one Sensei. It's always been three Genins and one Sensei. Like, at least unless I just was missing things. And what would happen to all the people who failed the test? I never see them going back to the academy. So something's not adding up, right, Kakashi Sensei? As Kakashi says, maybe she's a little more smart than she let on. Hopefully, she's at least semi-skilled. She is the Kunoichi of the year after all. As he says, well, enough of the chit-chat, let's just get into this. As he pulls out his book and says, like I said, fight me like your life depends on it, because, I'm a Jonin after all, and I won't be holding back too much. Well, of course I'll be holding back because that's just a safe thing for you, for my little cute Gennies, but try your best and pretend that I'm not holding back at all. As Kakashi gets a thumbs up, as he then sees he only sees two of his students jump back into the forest, while Naruto stays still. As he says, one of you guys decided to skip all the academy training sessions of scouting out your opponent. But hey, this might be interesting. What's your name again? I kind of forgot. It's Naruto, Kakashi-sensei, and I'm gonna be the next Hokage. Believe it. Not only Hokage, though, but I'm gonna, like I told you yesterday, I'm gonna defend the world and bring peace. As he says, oh, that's very nice and well, but I don't really think this is the time to really be hearing out of your dreams and aspirations. That was for yesterday. Today is for battle. As he says, of course, Kakashi-sensei. As Naruto charges in, as we see in the bushes, we see Sasuke and Sakura looking at Naruto, and they're both having semi-different thoughts, but at the same time, they're kind of the same. As Sakura's like, what is that idiot doing? Isn't he gonna listen to what our academy instructors told us about scouting out our opponent first and trying to form a strategy instead of just jumping head on? As Sasuke was thinking, man, what is this loser doing? Not my problem. He'll be a good way to test out to see how much stronger Kakashi is, and even though it's highly unlikely, if he has any techniques that I will need that dope, I'll completely steal them all for myself, even though I don't have my Sharingan yet. I'm still a Uchiha, and it's my birthright to have all the greatest abilities and all the greatest jutsus in the world. As Sasuke gives a kind of evil chuckle in his head. Well, are you ready, Kakashi-sensei? Says Naruto as he bouncing up and down, as he rolls his neck, as he, warms up some of his body. As he rolls his arm behind his back as he's just, getting warmed up. As he then says, as Kakashi then says, yeah, sure, bring it on, kid. Show me what you got. As we see Naruto then rush off at Kakashi, as Kakashi was impressed by the speed of Naruto, even though it wasn't much better than the normal academy student. It was around mid-Genin level, which was extremely, impressive for what his files is saying for the dead last of the academy. As he says, if this was a dead last, I can imagine what the first in the class must be like. Maybe he has shooting speeds. We'll just have to find out. As we see Kakashi still reading his book, as Naruto at least tries to land his first strike on Kakashi using his own unorthodox taijutsu style that he was taught by the academy teachers. Even though it wasn't the right way of using the academy taijutsu, it worked for him surprisingly, and he still, even though he wasn't taught properly, he was always pretty good when it came to spars, and the only person he really lost to were people like Hinata and Sasuke. With the other ones, he could beat pretty easily. As, like I said, he tries to land the first strike on him, trying to punch him in his chest, while Kakashi just backs up, still reading his book, as Naruto then continues to try to kick him as he drops down into a crouching position as he tries to sweep Kakashi's leg from under him, as Kakashi just simply jumps from the attack, as Naruto expected this, as he at least tried to kick him in the chest, but Kakashi just substituted himself for a log, as he just ended up sitting on another log nearby. As Naruto says, "Alright, well, I can't land a single strike. Are this as strong as Jonins are?" "Very impressive," says Naruto, as he then looks up to Kakashi to see him just giving him an eye smile, as he says, "Are you ready to continue yet?" As he says, "Of course, Kakashi-sensei," as he then rushes back at Kakashi, as the same thing happens for about 5 minutes before Kakashi starts getting bored and says, "Hey, maybe I expected too much from you, and maybe that just burst of mid-gaining speed was the max of your abilities. Hey, maybe you'll be a good student, but that's way ahead in the future. But for right now, you did semi-good, kid. Too bad that you won't be passing, though," says Kakashi as he punches Naruto, as Naruto goes flying back as he lands and as he lands with a thud, cracking his back on the tree, as he coughs out some little spit, not blood, since it wasn't that hard of an impact, but hard enough that his back really was in pain. As he says, "Kakashi Sensei, you're really one heck of a guy." As he spits some spit out of his mouth, as he says, "Well, I didn't expect to have to bring this out, but hey, you're not a Jonin for nothing." As he pulls his ring out of his pocket, as he slips it onto his finger, as we see Kakashi looking at him with a confused look on his face and says, "What's the ring for?" As he says, "You'll figure it out soon." As Naruto then tries to remember the chant that he was taught by the old man before he gave him the ring. "I think it goes like this," says Naruto. "In brightest day and in darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware of my power. Green lanterns alight!" As we see a green aura envelop Naruto, as we then replace Naruto's outfit with an outfit that's very similar, like Zero's head, to how Gordon's, instead of him having a mask, though, he has some of his energy that is vibrating and that is getting used by the ring around his forehead protector, causing the headband to glow in a greenish aura. As Kakashi and all of Team 7 all were in shock since they never saw this before. As Sasuke's in the bushes saying, "What is that? What what kind of power is that? I never read anything about this in the history books or in all of my classes, and it looks powerful. And what is with that weird green logo on his chest? It looks like a lantern. And what was that weird chant that he was saying? The 'in brightest day, no evil shall escape my sight,' whatever that was. I'll definitely have to talk to that Dobie after this and tell him to give me whatever power that he's using right now." As Sakura says, "Oh, that seems pretty strong, but of course Sasuke-kun could do it so much better." And Sasuke-kun is obviously, if he ever had that, and why isn't Sasuke-kun having that power? Naruto, stupid Baka, should just give it to Sasuke-kun, as she looks with hearts in her eyes to Sasuke, as Sasuke says, "Here we go again." As Kakashi then says, "What is this form? I never heard anything about this or ever seen anything about this." And it seems like he gained this power after he said that weird chant and used that ring that he pulled out from his pocket. Since when did he get this? And it feels powerful, but it feels something from out of this world. Something not like chakra, but a different power I'll definitely have to talk to Ward Third about this. As he closes his book, knowing that this might actually be somewhat of a challenge. As he says, "Come on, kid, show me what that new power of yours can do." As he says, "Of course, Kakashi-sensei." As he levitates on the ground and rushes off to Kakashi in high tuning speed. Definitely flying is increasing his speed by a significant margin, even though Kakashi is much faster. The drastic change in speed caught Kakashi off guard, as Naruto, for the first time in this whole bout, actually landed a solid hit to Kakashi's face as he holds his face as he starts sliding back a little bit, saying, "Since when did he gain all this power?" I'm definitely gonna have to talk to Third about this. As he says, "Well, come on, kid, keep showing me what you can do." As Naruto then says happily, as he can create a huge fist from his ring, as he tries to crush Kakashi with it. As Kakashi is, even though the fist was moving kind of fast, around the same tuning speed, he could easily dodge this, but he wasn't expecting it to do so much damage, as he was blown away just from the impact of the ground, sent him back a few feet, not too far, and just leaving him a few scratches. As he says, "Wow, this is the first time that a Genin actually did this much damage to me. Didn't they say he was the dead last of the academy? Yeah, this kid is very interesting. I'm definitely gonna have to talk to Lord Third about this too." As he then says, "Wow, kid, that was a solid hit." As he says, "You think so, Kakashi-sensei? Thank you. But next time it will be a lot better." As he then holds out his ring as a gun creates, as he says, "Let's see what this baby can do." As he starts to release some, instead of bullets, it was just mini fire, like fireballs shaped as bullets, as he starts to press the trigger as it sprays to Kakashi. As Kakashi is dodging this, but they are significantly faster than his previous attack, as well as his rush when he caught me off guard. This is definitely high joning speeds from these bullets, or whatever these are. They're like not kunai. I never seen these before. I wonder what this is and what kind of power this is. As Kakashi is continuously dodging them, having to substitute himself with some logs just to narrowly dodge some of them. As we see Naruto then create a giant lance as he threw it to Kakashi, but he knew that he would dodge this, so he uses his his lantern ring as he creates some wind blades shaped as moons as he sends them to Kakashi. This actually cutting him and cutting his flat jacket as it cuts across his body, his pants, as well as his face, as he has some more scratches on his face, and blood is actually starting to leak down from some of the scars. As he says, "Yeah, this kid is pretty impressive." As before he was even noticing, as Naruto and Kakashi continue to go back on their own battle in their own world, as they're dodging each other attacks, as Naruto is severely outclassed, but he's doing very well since he's fighting one of the strongest Jonin in Konoha, and he's just a Genin after all, and he hasn't had his lantern ring for too long. Yeah, this is definitely great. This power, with this I could be Hokage and I could save the world, and I can be a good, what did he call it, Green Lantern, right? Yeah, as I'm keeping a good Green Lantern and protect this whole world, as he and Kakashi are continuing to have their battle, as Sasuke is getting more and more angry as he's saying, "What is this dope doing? Was he hiding this power this whole time during the academy? Was he trying to make me look like an idiot? What is this?" As Sasuke slams his hand down to the ground, as Sakura says, Sasuke-kun, as he sees him, as he has a very angered expression on his face, as she says, "What is this power that Naruto has, and why doesn't Sasuke have it?" As she starts to try to yell at Naruto and saying, "Naruto, you
idiot, give Sasuke your power immediately. A loser like you doesn't even deserve that power. And you should give it to him. He will be much better use of it. As Sasuke says, for all of her banshiness, this is finally something I agree upon. Give me your power. As Sasuke then rushes at Naruto, as Kakashi with open eyes saying, "Oh no." And here I was thinking that this team could actually be promising. Their own teammates are turning against each other, and those two. Are you sure that these were the number 1 and number 2 guy and girl in their class? From what I can see, Sensei's son is a lot more skilled and a lot more talented. And he didn't have nearly as much help from personal trainers as well as the village as the Uchiha did. As he says, this is very interesting. Too bad that the whole team won't pass. Maybe I can take him on as an apprenticeship. Yeah, maybe I can do that. As we see Kakashi and say, "Enough! You fail." As we hear the timer going off in the background, as Naruto actually collected a ring. As during this, Naruto actually, when Kakashi was too busy looking at what Sakura and Sasuke were doing, trying to attack Naruto, Naruto used his ring to create a hand as it grabbed one of the bells away from Kakashi without Kakashi even knowing. As he looks down at his waist as he was going to untie his bells, as he noticed one's missing. As he says, "Wait, when?" As he looks at Naruto as he powered back down into his normal green and black outfit, as he says, "Look, Kakashi Sensei, I got a bell. Does this mean I pass?" As he says, "Well, unfortunately, kid, even though what you did was very impressive, like the girl said, there's no only one man squad with Jody and instructor. You guys will fail. But I will give you guys another chance because Naruto here was very, very promising and he deserves to pass. I don't really feel like holding back him because you guys don't want to get along, and the fangirl and then the overly power hungry Uchiha were trying to attack their own teammate. Never have I ever seen something this disgraceful. You should be ashamed to call yourself Konoha Shinobi." As Sasuke actually surprisingly took this into heart, since Kakashi was, at least from what he knows, Itachi's Anbu captain, and if he's saying this to him, since he must be stronger than Itachi, there's no way that he can do it. So what he's saying must be true, and he decides to at least humor Kakashi Sensei. But Sakura doesn't really care, and she says, "What did we even do wrong? Sasuke-kun is a lot more deserving of these powers anyway, and you should just give it over to him, Naruto, you stupid loser." As Naruto looks down and says, "You know, Sakura-chan, I liked you for this whole time. Even when people were bullying you about your forehead, I always defended you. But, it's just been getting so tiring. I'm tired of your bullying me and just always trying to tear me down and saying that the Uchiha should get all of this praise just because he's the last member of his clan. Even though I see him as a rival, why did he have things that I didn't? I did nothing wrong to anyone. Hey, just because I have the 9," as Kakashi then says, "How does he know he has the 9 tails?" As he body flickers behind Naruto as he puts his hand around his mouth and says, "You can't say that much, kid." As he says, "But why, Kakashi Sensei?" "You'll find out about it later." As Kakashi then says, "Well, like I said, since you two wanted to attack your own teammate, I have half a nerve to just fail you now and take Naruto on as my apprentice, but I'm going to give you a second chance, because like I said,
there's no one-man squad with just a Jonin instructor, and apprentices come on later when the people reach the rank of tuning. So you guys should call yourself lucky. But unfortunately, I have to tie you guys two to the post, and you guys won't be able to eat any lunch. Naruto, if you don't feed them, then I will give you and your whole team the chance to retake the exams with you having a free pass since you already collected one of the bells. Also, by the way, can you hand that back to me? As he says, of course, Kakashi-sensei, as he tosses it back to Kakashi, as he is no longer behind him, as he's back to his original spot reading his book again. As just like that, Sasuke and Sakura tied to the post while they see the whole lunch set out, which Kakashi had gotten for them, but Naruto, now since he's the only one who's not tied up, is the only one who can eat it. As Naruto was starting to eat his lunch, as he says, well, at least if I just do this, our whole team will get the chance to redo it. As he just starts to eat the lunch that was prepared for them, as he starts to hear his teammates' stomach starting to growl, as he says, what's the worst that can happen? Plus, if we retake the exams, I should at least have my teammates at tip-top shape, as he unfortunately, to him saying, hey, if I get caught, I guess this is it. I'm going back to the academy. So reluctantly, he gives over his food as he starts to feed Sasuke and Sakura with it. As we see Kakashi do the same stunt, as he comes up with an ominous glow, as lightning is striking in the background, as he says, you have disobeyed my laws, Naruto. You have passed, as he says with a bright eye smile. And they can tell under his mask that he's smiling from the indent of his mask, as the whole group is in shock and says, wait, what, we pass? As he says, I did not like what you guys did to Naruto, which was one of the reasons why I decided to give you guys a second try. Because, like my old friend told me, those who don't follow the rules, of course, they're scum. But those who abandon their comrades and, like you guys did, attack their comrades are worse than scum. What Naruto did was scum because he didn't follow the rules, but he redeemed himself by breaking the rules for his team, which makes him a good person. You guys should really learn after Naruto. And are you guys sure that it wasn't just a flaw that he was the dead last? As Kakashi says this part to himself. As he says, well, we'll meet tomorrow in the Hokage's office for our first D-rank mission. So long, my little kitties. As before this, he body flickers next to Naruto as he and him, surprising Naruto and the rest of Team 7, they body flicker to the Hokage's office as he says, Kakashi, how did it go? As he sees a whole bunch of other Jonin senseis as they're giving their reports to the Hokage to let them know if their team passed or not. As Kakashi then says, Team 7 passed. As they look around and see Naruto Uzumaki, why is he here? As Kakashi says, Lord Hokage, I have something that is urgent and I need to talk to you in private with Naruto here. As he says, of course, Kakashi, just give me like 5 more minutes. The last of my team should be finishing their reports. Then can you just wait outside until then? As he says, of course, Lord Hokage. As him and Naruto body flicker out of the office. As Kakashi sees all of his other fellow Jonin instructors leaving, as they're all questioning, saying, why is that brat here? While others are saying, oh, it's a Lord's fourth son. As they says, I wonder what he's doing here. As Hiruzen Sarutobi says, yes, Kakashi, you guys can come in now. As he says, of course, Lord Hokage, as
they go back into the room before closing the door. As Kakashi says, with all due respect, Lord Hokage, would you be willing to remove your Anbu for this, as well putting up a silencing seal for this? What I need to talk to you about is very important. As he says, of course, as he gives 2 claps as all of his Anbu vanish. As Kakashi then says, there's one more, as he says, oh, I'm sorry, he's a new recruit, he doesn't understand what the double clap means, even though I made that the sign to leave because it's the easiest cue to understand, but he's new. Just give him some slack, as he says, sorry, Lord Hokage, as he body flickers out of the room as well. So, what is it that you want to talk to me about, Kakashi? Says Hiruzen. Well, you see, Lord Hokage, during my match with Naruto, I have come to a realization that things aren't what they seem. As Hiruzen says, what do you mean by that, Kakashi? Well, I don't know if you were spectating this like you do with all the other squads, and if you got to spectate my exam, but he had this power that was very strange, and it came from this object. Naruto, can you please pull out the object first? As he says, of course, Kakashi-sensei, as he pulls out his ring as it's on his finger. Now, if you guys are saying that the ring usually stays on the finger until the person dies, and yeah, I know that, but it'll eventually stick on by the time the missions start going on. It's just for today, since he just got the ring that is on his body. So far, the qualification does have to be it's on his body, but soon it will bond with his finger. So don't worry. As we go back to the story, as Naruto then places the ring on the desk, as he says, "That's it, right, Naruto?" As he says, "Yeah, Kakashi-sensei." As Hiruzen looks at the ring, at least he tries to, as he tries to pick it up, but he is being shot. As he says, "What was that?" As Naruto then says, "I don't know," as he picks up the ring with nothing happening. As Kakashi says, "Let me try to pick it up," as the same thing happens to him, as it gives him a little shock. So I seem like only Naruto can pick this up, says Hiruzen. Which is very strange. So, what is this item and why have I never seen it before? Said Hiruzen to Naruto. Well, I kind of made a promise that I can't really talk about it. But since you guys are my sensei and my GG, I guess I could tell you guys. Well, so there was this shooting star, at least that's what I thought it was, that crashed down near the forest. And I was trying to do some training there since, the academy. The instructor didn't really train me, so I had to learn a lot by myself. As Kakashi was like, of course, this is all making sense now. That explains his unorthodox way of fighting, as he knew that the academy didn't really teach him, or at least he thought they wouldn't teach him, but they didn't expect the academy not to teach him anything, like Naruto was saying. But like I was saying, so there was just a guy who was greatly injured, and I tried to rehabilitate him, as I brought him to the cave and tried to grab him some food and water from my house. But by the time I arrived, it was way too late, and he was already basically dead, with the guy saying that he only had a few more minutes left to live, and he gave me this ring, as he says, "It's yours now," as he holds out his hand, as the ring now bonded to Naruto, as he grasps it in his hand. "Now place the ring on your finger and repeat this after me. In brightest day and in darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. With those who worship evil's might, beware of my power, Green Lantern's light." As then I transformed, and I could now do things like I could never do before. I could create all different things with my ring, with my power ring, and I could create constructs, and I could fly. I could do so many different things. It was amazing. It was like my whole body was amped up to the max. As Naruto, as Kakashi was like, yeah, uh, well, yeah, Lord Third. It was very impressive. I've never seen anything like that before. As Harusa says, very interesting. May I please see this transformation that you're talking about? As he says, of course, GG. As he puts the ring on his finger, as he then says the chant, in brightest day and darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. With those who worship evil's might, beware of my power, Green Lantern's light. As the same green aura overfills the room, as Naruto is then transformed into his Green Lantern outfit. As Haruzen says, "Wow, this is very interesting. I've never seen anything like this before." As he says, "Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking." Or third, but like I said, it's extremely powerful. Whoa, Naruto, looks like you found yourself something extremely new. But I guess it's all yours now. Make sure to use the power very carefully, since from what Kakashi was saying, that it's a very powerful at least ability, and you should not let that fall into the wrong hands. As he says, of course, Gigi, I'll do my best. As he gives a bow before trying to take off his ring and trying to get back into his normal outfit. But it didn't come off, as it was stuck to his finger. As he says, this is new. As he continues on trying to pull off the ring, but it's just not budging. As he thinks to himself, I just want to go back to my normal costume. As that's what happens, and he goes back to his normal costume, which is saying that, but he keeps his ring on. This is very interesting. But I guess it's a lot more practical now. Instead of me keeping it in my pocket where it might get lost, I can just keep it on my finger. As he says, well, if you will excuse me, I have to be prepared for me and my team's missions tomorrow. Says Naruto as he flies out of the as he goes down the steps, because like I said, he exit out of his form. As Kakashi and Haruzen looked back at Naruto and said, things have gotten a lot more interesting, haven't they, Kakashi? As he says, yes, Lord Third, they have. But the D-rank missions aren't anything special, and they're just simple tasks like painting fences and watching people's kids, and dog walking, and collecting cats from collecting the daimyo's cat, who always seems to run away. As this is what they were doing now. As Naruto gotten pretty tired of doing all these D-rank missions, as he just repeats the chant pretty quietly, as he just shoots out of his ring, as he stretches out of his hand, which catches Tora the cat. As Kakashi then says, the mission is done, my cute little Genin. Time for our next mission. As they all look and discuss, saying, of course, it's another D-rank mission. As Kakashi is like, no, on the contrary, I think that at least most of us here are ready to do a C-rank mission. It shouldn't be that bad, since C-rank missions aren't that hard, and most Genins can do C-rank missions. Plus, I'm here, and it should be fine. I have faith in you guys, at least two of you guys. One of you guys is extremely behind. As Naruto says, of course, it's me and Sasuke, with Sakura being behind. As Sasuke was thinking the same thing, but Sakura was thinking that it was her and Sasuke, with Naruto being behind and saying, of course, that loser couldn't be on the level of me and Sasuke could. As we then go back into the Hokage's office, as we see Haruzen sitting behind his desk saying, I see that you guys cleared your mission, and this is a new streak for the quickest to ever catch Tori the cat. Congratulations, your name will be going on the billboard of D-rank missions. congrats. As Kakashi says, with all due respect toward Hokage, I know this is really the norm, but I feel like my team is prepared to do a C rank mission, at least a row rank one. It doesn't have to be any high important mission, but just like a simple escort mission should be good enough to let them have their feet feet in the pond, feet in the waters, They can't be stuck in the little bird's nest forever. They have to spread their wings and fly, says Kakashi with an eye smile as he says, well, I was about to give this to more seasons gaining team, but Team 10, God's team, but since you asked, I guess I can give it to you, as he calls and tosses in the bridge builder. But guys, that's gonna be the end of my part. Thank you guys for listening to this. Hopefully you guys didn't like the way I did this. Thank you again for Zero for letting me hop on this video. I really appreciate this, guys. Sorry that this video is super long. I know Zero doesn't really have this long of videos, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed my part. Like I said, I'm Zero. Hope you guys liked it. Again, thank you for listening, and yeah, I'll get this back to my guy Zero.